supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hi, this is Dean Chenoweth, head coach of Cleveland's Lake Erie Monsters, and you're listening to the Sports Fix.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix. That's right. Time to hit the weekend, baby. J-Rock back with you as we roll down the final segment of the show. Thanks to our slate today, Jonathan Knight, Sportswriter extraordinaire, even with the interruption there. I don't know who was monkeying with us there, but he joined us for a great conversation. As always, talk some Tribe and some Browns with JK. Love it when he's with us every Friday. Jeff Gorman from Browns101.com with the Tennessee Titans scouting report, as he does each and every Friday for us. Ryan Ruiz of DogPoundNation.com joined us with the 3 Dawg Bones to victory as well. And man, it's not very often that we've got, well, no, we don't have a unanimous panel today. JK's still holding out that the Browns come back down to earth. He predicted they lose this weekend to the Titans. Jeff Gorman, Ryan Ruiz, not always in agreement. They both have solid victories predicted for the Brownies here. I know Dan Wismar did as well earlier in the week. I don't know where you guys are. I'm with those guys. I mean, seriously, to me, any given Sunday, any team can win. So I'm going to qualify this by saying if the Browns don't show up to play, then forget every word that's about to come out of my mouth. But if the Browns show up to play, if they do what I believe they're going to do, which is come out of this break focused and ready to go to Tennessee and take care of the task at hand, one game, not a stretch, not a run, not a season, just a game. If they do that, and if they really are focused, and I believe they are, I really believe that this coaching staff has compartmentalized them and got them focused. If they do, the talent is superior, plain and simple, especially at the key position where people used to always, when they'd come down on the Browns, they'd say, well, at the end of the day, the quarterbacks don't match up. At the end of the day, Brian Hoyer is 10 times any of the quarterbacks on the other side of the Tennessee Titans. Now, that's not going to be enough to guarantee you a victory, but that alone gives you a head start. This team is coming in disarray, but mostly it's that and the fan base, too. I mean, I'm telling you, you'll see. If the Browns score early in this game, the Boo Birds will be out. The Titans nullify any home field advantage, and then it's practically a neutral site game. And when you're taking the home field out, a lot of times you're now comparing talent to talent, and at that point the Browns should be able to pull ahead. So I absolutely think the Browns win. I'm gonna go a little bit more a little bit more decisive than everybody else. I think the Browns really put some points on the board against this defense. They've been averaging nearly 26 points a game. I think they do a touchdown better than that. I've got the Browns winning this game 34-17. I think they double up the Titans and get themselves on the winning track and get themselves ready for Pittsburgh. So 34-17, that's where I'm at with this one. And I'm with Ryan. Not only do they need one, I expect a couple of game-changing plays here. Man, Gibson has just been doing his thing, and I think he'll continue to be one of the MVPs on this defense. I sure would love to see Mingo choose this week to show up and get after the quarterback there. As we've said, they have definitely given up some sacks, giving up 3 sacks a game is the Titans' offensive line. So maybe the Browns' front 4 can get healthy here. Front 7 really can get healthy here and get after the quarterbacks. That's where I'm at. 34-17 here. Speaking of where I'm at and where you're at, we're all here in Cleveland, and figured this would be a good way to kind of wrap things up. I know we talked several times this week. It comes out today. The Cleveland issue of ESPN the Magazine is on the book stands and magazine stands everywhere. It was released today. No, that's actually what it's called. The Cleveland issue, a whole issue of the magazine dedicated to the things that have been happening here in Cleveland. And Of course, LeBron. And you know what? I gotta. You know they gotta do it. People keep going with man. I love one of the titles. It's like or one of the openings here. It's like you know they're doing all this with Johnny Manziel not playing and Josh Gordon not playing, and I'm like, okay, Josh Gordon, you can fit that in there, but Johnny Manziel does not fit in that equation the same way. The kid's not playing just because Brian Hoyer's playing better. That's just keeping the fans quiet and the media quiet. The kid's not playing because the kid shouldn't be playing. That's why he's not playing. That doesn't even have anything to do with Hoyer and Manziel. Hoyer's just playing well enough to keep everybody quiet that would normally be squawking at this point in time to throw the rookie out there. But you guys know, I don't buy the Johnny Manziel hype. I just don't. I don't believe that at this point in time he's anything as far as an NFL quarterback. Maybe he can get there. It's going to take a lot of work on his part. I like him. I like what I've seen out of him since the season started more than what I did before that. I like the work. You know, he's obviously, you know, coming to work. People are saying he's got a good work ethic and he's doing what he's got to do. I don't know how much choice you have in that. I don't know of too many backup quarterbacks who really walk around and can, during the season, make a big deal about themselves. It wouldn't be tolerated in any town, whether you're talking about Cleveland or New England or anywhere else. It wouldn't happen. So I don't know how much of that is by choice and how much is by just the way it has to be. But end of the day, man, I don't think the kid can ball like some people do. I've made my feelings very clear about that. So I get a kick out of when people keep using that, like, you know, the hometown hero is the only reason that Hoyer's playing over Manziel, because the fans are choosing the hometown guy over the big superstar. No, that's not it. I guess it sounds good. Sounds really good to put in an article, and especially ESPN, you know, you got to find a way to keep promoting Johnny Manziel. So that's probably the best way to do it. But they got to sit down with Brian Hoyer. He talked about in depth about the competition and what it feels like to be the quarterback of the hometown team and things like that. And but they continue to literally in this article, one of the articles, they break down the Cleveland fan base as choosing between the local blue-collar good guy or the brash, flashy superstar, and it's a test of Cleveland. Which quarterback you choose? I'm like, man, the only test to me is, did you choose the quarterback that can play well or the one that can't right now? I mean, at that point, again, it's the narrative that people tell. It works out so well. But they tell a cute little story about the time Brian Hoyer dressed up as Bernie Kosar for Halloween, and he's crying in the stands when Art Modell moved the team back in '95, and all of that, man. So if you haven't yet become embraceable with Brian Hoyer, you read this, you probably will. It does a good job of introducing him to a lot of people that have no clue who he is besides the other guy not named Johnny Manziel, because nationally, that's all you would know is, who's Brian Hoyer? He's the guy who's keeping Johnny Manziel from being the quarterback. And so a good article there. There was a lot of them. Man, very interesting one for those of you that don't follow the behind-the-scenes stuff about how literally, and again, you can talk about disingenuousness. You can talk about two-faced and saying one thing and talking out both sides of your mouth. But there's an interesting article about how the Cavaliers began the process of getting LeBron James to return to Cleveland the day after he left. And of course, as we know, while the decision's being fired off in front of the scenes, behind the scenes, the Cavs are making, and it actually had an interesting, the very beginning of it's pretty interesting. They talk about how the Miami Heat knew that the only way they could pull off what they did was to get sign-in trades. It was the only way the math worked for them to pick up not just Bosh and James, but Miller, and sign Udonis Haslem and do all the things that they did. So they had to have a sign-in trade. Pat Riley called the Cavs and offered them a second-round pick, and the Cavs said thanks but no thanks and hung up the phone. And give Chris Grant credit, he knew the clock was ticking, that the Miami Heat had already scheduled the big party, the press conference. Remember all the not one, not two, not three. All of that was scheduled, but technically LeBron James wasn't able to be signed under contract yet. Cavs came back at Miami with what we know turned out to be that huge counteroffer. They wanted 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and that switch option of being able to flip-flop picks in a later draft. And the Cavs won. Miami gave the Cavs what they wanted. The Cavs ended up getting all 4 of the draft picks that they wanted out of that. And if you remember, I mean, look at this summer. Up till now, they still have helped the Cavs make some of the moves that they did to get LeBron back here this summer. But anyways, it's the whole deal about that, and you can read that. There's a lot of great stuff in here. It's the Cleveland issue from cover to cover, baby. All about the 216, Josh Gordon, and we talked about that with Dan Wismar earlier in the week. A good sit down with Josh Gordon and about where he's at and what he's been through. And then, of course, it wouldn't be ESPN Cleveland without talking about the heartache and all the sad stories of the Cleveland fans and all. They got to have that. But overall, looks interesting. I've seen previews of a lot of the articles, read many of them. Going to pick up a copy of it here and check it out from cover to cover, see what else is in it. But check it out if you guys get a chance. I mean, hey, how many times does ESPN or Sports Illustrated or anybody dedicate an issue entirely to Cleveland? This may be a once in a lifetime deal. So get out there. It'll be a good collector piece for those of you too that collect Cleveland memorabilia and all of that. So the Cleveland issue of ESPN the Magazine on the shelves now. Man, we're going to call it a day. Up against it. Got a big game to call tonight. For those of you guys that get into that, check me out, 1330 WINT here in Cleveland. Go to WINTradio.com. I believe I think I'm the internet game today. I'm not sure. They've got multiple games, but a big one. I get to take on number 17 ranked in this week's top 25, Madison, the Blue Streaks, as they take on Eastlake North. I've gotten a chance to see I think 5 now. This will be 5 of the top 25 teams in the area in the early part of the season. Seen some good teams. Looking forward to seeing the Blue Streaks here and seeing Madison. They're 5-0 powerhouse, and Eastlake North had a bad start to the season for them as they continue to search for the first victory of the season for new coach Mike Bell. Looking forward to calling that. If you guys get into it, check us out tonight. As I said, WINTradio.com is the website, and they'll have the link for you to check out the broadcast tonight. Madison taking on Eastlake North out in Eastlake, Ohio. I'll be calling the action. And to be honest, I don't even know who my play-by-play guy is. It's not Charlie Malta tonight. Charlie's got the other game. So I've got a new colleague tonight for the first time. It'll be fun, interesting to call it with somebody else. Ton of things going on this weekend. You got the Bucks in Maryland as they kick off Big Ten play coming up this weekend. Looking forward to that on Monday. Dan Wismar will be with us on Monday to talk about that. John McMullen from the Sports Network will be here as we talk about the Browns and what they do in Tennessee. I'm saying 34-17. Let's see what really happens. John McMullen will be here to talk about not just the Browns, but the entire slate of NFL action. Baseball continues on. Wow, Detroit stormed back during this show. Right now, they've got a 5-3 lead in the 6th inning over Baltimore. Baltimore with the 1-0 lead in that series. Kansas City and the Angels tonight, Game 2. San Francisco and Washington get their series going this afternoon, just about 30 minutes from now. St. Louis and the Dodgers get theirs going as well. So we'll talk about all of those series and where they stand on Monday. Like we said, Bucks and Browns to recap. A lot of things to get into. Guys, enjoy the weekend. Go Buckeyes. Go Browns. I'll go Royals, man. I'm going to pull for the Royals here in this thing. They've sucked me in, and so there we go. We'll come back on Monday, talk about it all. You guys enjoy the weekend. As I said, if you want to listen tonight, Madison, Eastlake North, I'll be calling it on WINTradio.com. Until then, we'll see you on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. As I said, go Bucks, go Browns, go Cleveland, baby. We'll see you on Monday, live. Same bat time, same bat channel here on the Sports Fix. We love you, Cleveland. We'll see you Monday.